And we're back, and I totally resisted the urge to open these and start playing with them off camera over the last couple nights. Hopefully I have about an hour, so I'm hoping to put these all together. So what we got here, here's the belt hub, I guess you call it, and the magical little arms, and go that way, and then all the other various pieces that need to go with this. So just like last time, throw some bits around. It's interesting, there's a sort of flat on one side, so these must have to go in one specific way. Handy dandy trick to break the fibers out of these once I find the proper size punch. Putting the screws to these would also punch all the little threadies out, but just to make life easier assembling, I might just do them ahead of time. Those all look good. These are going to need some mechanical persuasion. Okay, so that's all done. Next it's time to start sorting and assembling. So what we got here, we got some belt, and a whole big bag of hardware. All the 5mm hardware I know I won't need right now. That's for assembling the next layer up. So I'm just going to pick that stuff out, throw it back in the bag. Okay, I think we're good there. So now let's cheat a little bit and look at the exploded directions here. The key point here is the bearings need to go on first, and so do these ball studs. Because once you assemble these to the center hub, the nuts are covered up. You could put the nuts in first, then assemble all this, and then put the bearings and stuff on, but it's like, you're already putting the nuts in, might as well just put the rest of it so they're not flopping around. This one we're going to actually have to look at the part numbers to get some of these lengths, because there's a whole snot ton of different length bolts for putting this together. Do its thing. Pro tip, don't put bearings in magnetic trays. Worst case, you'll magnetize them, and then every little magnetic piece of whatever will be attracted to them and get gouged up. These 3 bearings are for the extruder, so I'll just set them aside for right now. I don't think this is the right print. No, it's not. So basically the way this works is you have one of these little spacer jobbies, and it's quite a tight fit, which is good for keeping slop and run out under control. And then that presses on there, and voila. A lot of data in that print. So that's loading. I'm just gonna step and repeat. Making sure the hub of the bearing is sitting flat on this little ridge here. I don't think there's any worries of any of these falling out. They all press in pretty tight. And let's go marquee zoom. The only part I really care about right now is the length table. Much easier to read. 50 millimeters. So 0, 3 millimeters, 50. So they're these really, really long ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just regular flat washers. Yep, M3 flat washers. 1. Okay, so that's done. And now you throw a nut on the end. And then screw it down good and tight. Which begs the question, what is good and tight? And I don't have a good answer for that yet. As soon as I break something, then I'll have the answer. That last one I just did sucked in a good long ways, so I may have over tightened that one. So if you watch this one, you know, there it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, and right about there it starts getting hard to turn. So I'm gonna call that depth fully seated. And now it's just rinse and repeat. Next up, we need to put the six ball studs on. They go in pretty easily. Nut on that side. This thread's in this side. And I'm going to grab a wrench to tighten these down, if it is not already out. Okay, one slightly perplexing thingamabob. I think these screws were supposed to stick into these holes to keep this little lever from flipping. Well, that seems pretty solid. Could be better. I may have to glue the little end vanes on to keep them from flopping around. If they're not all perfectly aligned this way, you can fix it in software, hopefully. But if they move after from run to run, then you're kind of up the creek. I'm trying to correct that in the software because you never know what's right. This print's kind of just generally bad. Must be another point when he was having problems. I mean, some of these arms look just super awesome. It's like there must have been a common problem going around that corner. This one's just particularly bad. I either stripped the ball strut or the nut. Either way, that was not good. And I'm going to find out which just for future reference. If I strip the nut, I can get more nuts. If I strip the ball stud, I'm kind of... And I stripped the ball stud, so be very ginger when you put these in. Too much force and they strip right out really easily. I screwed that up. I wonder if I have any more M3 nuts. So there's just enough nuts in this kit to do this. So I can't just steal another one from the kit. But I have a whole bunch right there, so let's see if this works. It just comes down to, is there enough space in there to get two nuts and not have it poke out too far. Well, I had my first experience with over-tightening a part, and surprisingly enough, the PLA printed part was not the first to give out. So I'm going to stop right there. That is flush. Call it good. So that is something to watch out for. The ball studs are really, really soft metal. And do not react well to overzealous use of force. So from now on, I'm just going to finger tighten them like that, and then quarter turn, half turn, half turn. So that's done.